This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
Boom to the hay, all you sports fans out there in the Jewelsphere. Welcome to the OMSR with your brief but very concise host, Will the Alternative ESPN Sports Thrill. Do it again. There we go. Hell of a rotation on that free throw. Alright, so since our Final Four is now set, let me get into frame here. Briefly and concisely, little snippet, vignette of the video highlights coming up in fall. Analysis of, hey, Pac-12, what happened? All this love of Arizona going to the Final Four, not winning it, through many an ESPN pundit. I'm not going to name names. This is what I like to call it bracketology, breakdownology. I've got UW here. What happened? What happened in its entirety, frankly, for the Pac-12? Only yours truly's alma mater, the U, with a 5'8" point guard. As a senior, that's the best we could do recruiting-wise. With all due respect to my fellow alum, who now played there, like I did, as a walk-on. Briefly, blew up my right ankle, left ankle, flares up even worse, football-wise, the year before. Point being, Pac-12 is overhyped. Or is it just another example of the Pac-12's parity showing up in basketball like it does, or does now, did years ago, all the USC messing it up when the BCS system was in place. Alright, so part two, they're talking about, if it was difficult this year for the Pac-12, how is it going to look next year? And so the highlights coming up talking about Stanford. Remember when Stanford used to be sort of like the Duke of the left coast / west coast? The team you sort of couldn't really stand rooting for if you weren't a booster of them. So that'll be coming up. Yeah, so the NIT was kind of heavily, not so much heavily, but a little bit front-loaded Pac-12. And as already alluded to or previously mentioned, yours truly's alma mater with the 5'8" point guards in the national semis, which you can see tomorrow. This, the show being filmed today, that's on Monday, March 26th. So the NIT takes a backseat to the tourney, between the weekends and you can see the NIT. If you can't get your, if the weekends aren't good enough to get your college basketball fix, here's your last chance during midweek. And so the U of U versus Western Kentucky and so forth. So does the NIT success matter for the Pac-12? I think the NIT is a great tournament, but it's kind of had some blasé matchups over the years since Baylor went there. All right. Thanks for watching those silly DUIs while you're out there celebrating whatever basketball form you prefer.
Welcome into our halftime report. Matt Chick along with Dallin Cuff. Remember the movie Men in Black? Yes, I do. I wonder where you're going, but yeah, I remember that. Bear with me here. Remember they had that light that they would hold up and say, look at this light, and it would flash and you would forget everything. Neuralizer, I believe they called that. Okay, sad that I know that. I think that might be right. Okay, it's your favorite movie of all time, and that's more than appropriate. The Pac-12 would certainly love to have that actually be an actual thing and forget this season, especially the postseason. 3 teams made the NCAA tournament, 2 made the first 4, all of them out after the first game. They didn't get to the second weekend. Since the Big 12 was created more than 20 years ago, no team among the 6 major conferences failed to send a team to the second round of the tournament until this year. You saw on the graphic, Ben, since the mid-'80s, since the Pac-12 failed to win a game. So is this just one bad season, or is it a harbinger of things to come?
It's a tough spot there right now. This is a season we knew this could play out this way. From watching all year, this conference was mediocre at best. And Arizona on the top end, they had some weird losses. Arizona State was the story of the non-conference, but struggled to a bad finish below 500 in a conference. Like I said, that was average. You look at USC, they're tangled up in the FBI situation, so is Arizona. There are some issues that are going to plague this conference going forward as well. So next year we'll see how they bounce back, but this year, no surprise how they performed in postseason.
And no matter what conference you're in, you want your bell cows, your blue bloods, your traditional powers to rise to the top and be good. That's how conferences typically are judged. So you look at the Pac-12, Arizona, UCLA. Which of those teams do you think has the better chance to bounce back next season?
UCLA, by far and away, it's not even close. Arizona is going to be, I don't want to use the term in shambles, but close to it. You lose your big guns. You lose DeAndre Ayton. You're going to lose Alonzo Trier. You're going to lose Parker Jackson Cartwright to graduation, Dusan Ristic to graduation. Potentially Raleigh Alkins goes pro. You don't know what's going on with Sean Miller. You got the FBI investigation, which has caused you to lose all your top recruits. Those guys have all gone elsewhere. So Arizona, the cupboard is bare and nothing's coming in. Vince is going to be there in real trouble, the Wildcats. Interesting to see where this goes. UCLA, opposite end of the spectrum. Baron Holiday comes back. You've got great players coming in, a top 3 recruiting class by ESPN's rankings right now. So Steve Alford's got a good situation as long as they don't try to run him out of town. They got a good situation there in terms of the talent coming in, who's coming back.
Yeah, you're Arizona. How do you recruit to that? How
well, obviously you can't because they all left.
Yeah, they're leaving. Let's try to spin it positive here with the Pac-12. Now, in the first round of the National Invitation Tournament, Pac-12 teams went 5-0 in that round. How beneficial is that? Is NIT success?
And only the U made it
just in terms of
through.
who's doing it. And
My alma
it's
mater.
not their teams.
And with the 5'8" guard on point.
They're a young
All due
team.
respect to my fellow alum,
Oregon. This is a team.
that's not great recruiting going on there.
There's a lot. This year they try to reload. They still have Peyton Pritchard. They get other really good recruiting classes. There they had some solid wins at times this year, but inconsistency plagues a young team. There's nothing wrong with that. But they can really emerge here. Washington and Mike Hopkins' first year came out of nowhere. Again, a young team where he's building his system in there. They play the 2-3 zone coming from Syracuse. So Washington could make a big step here. They need to perform well in this NIT to learn, get that as experience, and it can vaunt.
And that didn't
They
happen.
win at Kansas.
This is sort of a week later, retrospect.
You mentioned Oregon, you mentioned Washington. Give me another team in the Pac-12 trending up.
I think the biggest one is Stanford. I think Stanford, as long as Reed Travis comes back.
Yeah, remember Stanford basketball?
Versatile four-man.
A force to be reckoned with?
You can make a big jump. They have Dejon Davis, other young players behind him.
Long time
And
ago.
I think this Stanford team is poised to make the biggest jump in the league as long as, I said, as Travis comes back. They had some good wins this year. They were, getting into potential NCAA tournament conversation mid-February. But again, a young team. They had their consistencies. They had some failures. But they're a team that I think can really are poised to make a jump. That's why, again, the NIT.
It has been a rough year for the Pac-12. Again, didn't get a team into the college football playoff.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't get a team to the second round of the NCAA.
Larry Scott's loving you rehashing this stuff.
Yeah, we probably should move on. They're trying to make memories.